Hi, John.
Hey.
So, what does it feel like going to the World Series for the first time in 32 years?
Pretty cool. Pretty humbled to be part of it, you know what I mean? I've said it before, besides my wife and kids, this is what I pour my life into. So to be leading the team that's going back to the World Series for the first time in 32 years kind of hits me a little bit. And I couldn't be happier for every single guy on the team and in the clubhouse, not just the players, but the staff too. So we're gonna enjoy tonight, big time, you know, and realize how hard it is to get here, and then get back to work and get ready for the Dodgers.
Fifth row straight back, John.
Hey, John, congratulations.
Thank you.
So we've heard from you throughout the series about it's another game, do your job, all those good things. When you're a couple of outs away from elimination, and then in the blink of an eye, you're leading in a couple outs away from the World Series, how hard is it to practice what you preach to just keep it steady?
Very. You know, I've said before, I try to be purposely deliberate in what I do and what I say every day. I'm sure I was not practicing what I preach by my facial expressions in that moment. But it's really, really an amazing thing to watch these guys navigate situations. Whether it's Barge walking, Izzy grinding out a single, or George being able to slow that moment down, which he's done a million times in his career. So in the moment, really, you're not thinking about it. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about, are they going to play the infield in? Are they not? Are we going on contact? Are we not? Who's he bringing in to face who? What are the counter moves? So you kind of get lost in the moment a little bit. But this team, man, it's a special group.
Second row, your left, John.
Hey, John, I got two questions for you. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
First question, when George Springer connected on that home run, what was running through your head?
I didn't really know. You know what I mean? Before the game, I said there's always someone that's going to have a moment, right? In a Game 7, winner take all game. They had a couple, you know, from their big name guys between Julio, Cal, and Josh. So you never really know. So in the moment, I've seen Georgie hit some homers, you know, and I was just hoping that he got enough of it. And when he did, you know, you kind of look around and you see players and coaches reacting the way they did. Kind of surreal in the moment when you're witnessing a historic swing for the organization. You know what I mean? And then you try to get back. I remember going right to Pete and just making sure, yeah, Chris is still the guy no matter what for the 8th inning. So you kind of get back into manager mode.
On that note, Gosman and Bassett came out of the bullpen.
It's awesome.
What's it say about this team that you have two guys who are typically historically starters stepping up like that?
You know, just gutsy. You know what I mean? I think that I try to learn from every experience that you've been through, and Game 7 is a whole different animal where things get a little bit quirky, you know? And I said it to you guys before the game. There comes a time where you just trust people and you just trust guys that have been there, right? So for Kev to come out of the bullpen for the first time all year, and, you know, I intentionally walked Cal, and I thought he did a good job of working around Naylor to go to Polanco, who he's handled well. It's just cool to see guys that you trust go out there and have success. Chris's curveball to Gino, man, 3-2. It's a ballsy pitch, and that's who Chris is. So to see his reaction was really fulfilling. And then Hoff punched out the side, man. It was awesome.
One row behind the last.
I'm wondering from this past Friday and to next Friday, obviously you mentioned it's been an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
How did you manage your emotions since Friday, and how do you plan to manage your emotions until Friday?
I think from that point, you rely on people you trust around you, right? If you're not learning, you're falling behind. And if you're not counting on people who support you, you're going to get lost, you know? So I think leaning on Pete, DeMarlo, Donnie, Ross, even having conversations with him, and then going home and hearing my wife talk about it too, and my boys, you know what I mean? Like, hey, don't be afraid to trust your gut, and don't be afraid to just be who you are, because you're here for a reason. It gives you a little bit of a exhale, you know what I mean? And then to come see these guys every day, it's hard. It's hard to manage your emotions. As far as managing them right now, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of tonight, and probably tomorrow too, to be honest with you, and then get back to being the skipper of the Blue Jays.
Fifth row on your left, John.
John, over here, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, the old saying goes, it takes a village, and you look at this team, you got 15 guys in this team who were in AAA at some point this year.
Crazy,
Whether they were supposed to be there or guys like Springer and Bieber who were hurt and working through something. What does it say about this game being, you know, as much an organizational triumph for all the things you had to go through the last 6 months?
It says that we're aligned from top to bottom, really, right? Like asking Casey Candell to do things with guys in AAA that I would ask them here and him doing it. That's one thing. You can look at the guys that are celebrating in here, and they've all helped us win. And there's guys that aren't here that have helped us win, you know. So that part is really fulfilling. You know, there's some role players. There's some guys that got valuable experience last year in a down year that has paid off this year big time. So you never know where the game's going to take you. You know, you never know when you're going to acquire Shane Bieber. You never know when you're going to acquire Max Scherzer. You never know when George is going to hit 32 homers in the regular season. You never know when Vlad is going to earn $500 million. You know what I mean? So where we've ended up, man, is pretty cool.
And Lucas, for a guy who was almost out of the game to be going to the World Series.
Thrilled for him. You know, thrilled for everyone, right? But, I mean, Nate's a guy who was contemplating retirement, you know. 30-year-old dude, he's got 2 kids, you know. He's rode the bus for his whole life, and he's hitting second for the Toronto Blue Jays in front of Vlad and behind George. Couldn't be happier for him. Couldn't be happier for Ernie Clement. Couldn't be happier for Miles Straw, who was in AAA last year. Tyler Heineman, that's been on 14 teams in the last 3 years. And guys that were in our bullpen that weren't here last year or in AAA somewhere else last year. I think it just shows that it takes an entire team effort to get to where you want to get to.
Do a few last ones up front on your left, Ian.
John, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you haven't had a lot of time to absorb this yet, but you look at the postseason history of the Dodgers, their reputation around the game. Does that match up? Is that something that you kind of relish, having a matchup against a team of that stature?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think to get to where you want to go, you got to beat the best, right? Whether it's talent, payroll, whatever you want to call it, man, they're a damn good team. You know, we saw them 3 games, you know, and that's it this year. But they got Hall of Famers up and down, well, top of their lineup, you know what I mean? And they got really, really good starting pitching and really good relievers. So I truly think that the best 2 teams are left standing, you know, for a variety of different reasons. And I'll never count my guys out of any series, you know what I mean? It's going to be fun. They're going to be up for it. There's going to be some big swings and ebbs and flows in it, I'm sure, but I'm just thrilled for the guys that they get the opportunity.
Go to the fourth row on your left.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have a whole country behind you?
Special, you know. We're the only team that gets to experience that, and we're the only team that has the following that we do and the viewership that we do. You know, I think guys don't realize that sometimes, but from coast to coast to have, you know, this team to grasp onto is really cool. And it's easy for me to say that because I've been part of it for a long time, you know, and I felt the connection when I was managing in Vancouver, you know what I mean, as a minor league affiliate, as a Canadian big league team too. So it's special for everyone that's involved with our organization.
Do you expect that, do you expect that it might grow into a bit of a Canada versus America spirit, not just Canada versus the Dodgers?
I don't know, maybe. We'll see, but I know it'll be the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers. That's kind of how we're going to look at it, knowing that we have a whole country behind us. But I'm not quite sure how that'll unfold, but I know that these guys in there know that they're representing the country too.
One last one for John. All right. John, congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you at the World Series.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Hi, Dave. I had 2 questions for you. Number one, have you settled on your starters for the first 2 games? And you've had a veteran group all year long. You've been with them for a while now. How have you been able to not allow your voice to just become white noise, and even when things were not going their best this year, to find a way to get the best out of those guys?
You know what, David, I think we're going to run the same rotation back, I think, for sure, for the first 2, Snell and then Yamamoto, and we'll see kind of from game 3 and game 4. Yeah, you know what, I think it's one of those things that they know me pretty well. I've learned to know them pretty well. We have a lot of the same people that have been together for quite some time. And with that, you learn kind of how to, ultimately get the best out of them at certain points and when to push them and challenge them and when to give them some latitude and some grace. I think there's a complete trust with me and the players, and our goal of winning a championship has never been in question. But yeah, I think for me is like, and you can see it, you see it firsthand. There's times I give guys freedom and like I said, grace, because the game's hard. It's a long season, but there's other times where I kind of I get to be a little bit more stern in my messaging and expectations, when I feel the time's right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question's from Kerry Osborne. Go ahead.
Dave, obviously, you have a very veteran group, guys who've been through these wars, but Mookie and Freddie in particular, just how much does their experience mean to this club in the postseason?
It means a lot. First off, they're two of the highest character people you'll ever come across, and they're both great teammates. They're both, very, very good workers. They both value the little things in the game. And so it's just hard not to follow that path of those two players. And then you layer it on the experience of postseason, be able to kind of manage your heartbeat and be the guy in the right spots and the biggest of spots. So I'm very fortunate to have those two players on our roster. They make my job a lot easier.
Next question is from Sonia. Go ahead, Sonia.
Hey, Dave. We talked to Tanner Scott yesterday and just wanted to know how's he feeling and how close is he to being an option for the World Series roster?
It's good to see Tanner continuing to throw pens, and it's just kind of trying to get a grasp on the doctors giving him the full kind of green light, the go ahead. So I really, today, I can't answer that question. I know that he's anxious, which is a good thing. But I think, fortunately, we get to see for a couple more days, how he responds to throwing and bullpens and things like that.
And in addition to, possibly Tanner, do you anticipate your bullpen looking much different this series? There is kind of that added challenge of some power hitting righties with the Blue Jays that you haven't had to counter so much in the other series.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we're still kind of in talks. There's one spot I think that we could potentially kind of debate, and we'll continue to debate, but we haven't made a decision. But it's going to look, obviously, outside of that one spot, it's probably going to look exactly the same.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Bill Plinkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Dave, how much more comfortable are you with the 6-day break this year compared to the breaks the last 2 years?
I think actually much more comfortable. Even after, the Game 4 win, we're flying out tomorrow, which sort of breaks up the monotony of not playing. We took the 1 day off, but the guys are active. The guys feel good. I do think that there were some guys that were nursing some things, so to get us back to full health. But actually, we got a simulated game, another one tonight, so I feel good about kind of the guys' focus and playing. And yeah, Bill, we'll be ready to go on Friday. Feel good about it.
The breaks seem to affect hitters more than pitchers. Is that a good thing that you're relying on your starting pitching then?
Yeah, I do think that's the case. But I will say that we've got this traject machine in the cage that guys are taking a lot of at-bats. off of, so to get familiar with different pitchers and keep their timing. And it's not live, but it's pretty good simulation on top of the simulated games that we're playing with each other. But yeah, having the pitchers kind of fresh and frisky, going into this World Series is a good thing.
Going back to spring training with this idea of doing something that hasn't been done in 25 years, how much of your message was that in spring training? And do you bring it up over the course of the season at all?
I haven't brought it up in the season. I brought it up, I think, on the first day of spring training and haven't talked about it since. I think it's one of those added pressures that I don't think that I want to take on. I don't think our players need to take on. So I think for us, it's kind of, being in the moment, taking care of business. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the season, then you can look back. But right now, the only focus is winning game one and winning 4 more games here.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question from Don Hernandez. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. With Yamamoto, it seems like he's developed a very close relationship with his interpreter, Hiro, over the last couple of years. And I was just kind of wondering, what you could maybe tell about Yamamoto's character, maybe the way he treats Hiro, maybe not just Hiro, but also, a lot of the team's support staff.
Fantastic. I think Yamamoto is quite the gentleman, quite the high character. He's a great worker, knows what he wants to do, what he needs to do to get ready. And he treats everyone from Hiro to myself to all the support staff with the highest of respect.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from John Chidley Hill from TSN. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for making the time today. Really appreciate it. We just had Freddie speak to us, and he was saying that he's expecting a rough ride from his fellow Canadians when he's in Toronto. Is he the kind of player that gets affected by booing and jeers that are so directed at him that when he gets singled out, or is he the kind of guy that's just going to shrug it off and focus on the task at hand?
Well, he doesn't get bothered by boos. I'm just a little confused why, where he praises his country of birth and, has played for the Team Canada. And so, he was traded here. So, yeah, he's a baseball player, loves the U.S., loves Canada. He's a heck of a player, person, even better person. But, yeah, I don't know what the Blue Jays fans have in store for him, but I don't think he'll be fazed by it.
They gave Josh Naylor a rough ride during the last series, too. So it's not particular to Freddie. It's they'll just single out other Canadians, I guess.
So other Canadians that don't have a choice to where they play. Got it. Okay. Well, I'm okay with that. Then I guess that Freddie is not singled out, so I got no problem with it.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Next question from Fabian. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, just go back to the championship talk. I mean, Mookie and others have kind of talked about legacy a lot, and you've kind of brought that up about some of your stars being motivated by legacy. What do you think 3 titles in 6 years would mean for their legacies in addition to what this would mean for the organization to be accomplished that?
Obviously with those particular players, they're talking about the Hall of Fame, and that's something that's a motivating source for them, which is great. Still within the team constructs. And I think for the Dodgers, I think it just kind of puts us, on a Mount Rushmore of sports organizations. So there's been a lot of franchises that have done a lot of great things. And, right now in this point in time, we're just fortunate to be a part of, a great organization. We got to do our part.
Now, obviously, both these transactions went your way, but you guys have you and the Blue Jays have kind of fought for Shohei Ohtani and Roki Sasaki the last couple of years. What do you think about sort of maybe the sliding doors of these two teams being the two teams square off in the World Series with those two guys so prominent for you guys?
Obviously, we're very fortunate to have both those players. I think that they really feel good about their decisions to sign with us. But yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays ultimately got back to the World Series first time in, since 1990 or whenever it was. But yeah, that's a good question, good debate. But like you said, I'm happy that we won out and they chose us.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave. With Snell, I mean, how much did his return and then ability to pitch at the level he did over the last couple weeks of the season kind of change the way you guys viewed the rotation? I mean, obviously last year you had Yama, and Tyler was back at that point, and Shohei was building up. But did having Blake kind of reach this level kind of change just how much you guys could rely on that group and how dominant that they've been here over this last month?
Yeah, absolutely. With every great starting staff, you got to have that anchor. And, Blake's always been a finisher. And so, obviously starting the way the season started, but to have him get back to pitch the way he did sort of raised the bar for everyone. I thought got Yamamoto even better, got Glass even better, Shohei. And it just allowed for us to, not only prevent kind of a few game losing streaks, but to just win games, win series and, win 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, things like that. So it was really good to see our starting pitching in particular, push one another. And they were certainly the reason, we played so well in September.
And then one more just on like the dynasty topic. I mean, I know you said you haven't really vocalized that this year. I know guys have been focused on just winning this year, but have you sensed at all them sensing just the opportunity of getting to play for a team that is going for a third title in such a short period of time and is getting the opportunity to win back-to-back? I mean, has that been something that you can feel the guys sensing as part of what's made this season so meaningful?
You know what, Jack? I don't know. And I can honestly say, I would say that that's not the case, which doesn't sound like it makes sense. But personally, I want to win this one in 25 as much as I wanted to win any of them. And I think that I feel the players feel the same way. And, the legacy dynasty talk, a lot of that I feel is meant for other people that aren't playing and let them have those debates where it's our job to kind of put those topics on the table, and we have an opportunity to do that. Right now we're just focused on the Blue Jays, and we need to play good baseball. And then, hopefully we put that topic of, legacy on the table for many people to debate.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question's from Megan Garcia. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, what have you seen out of Freddie this postseason at the plate compared to last year?
Well, he's not hobbled, which is a good thing. I think he's close. I think he's certainly seen some really good pitching, and guys are pitching him, teams are pitching him very carefully. And so he's hanging in there. I still think his at-bats are competitive, and he's certainly not pleased with the performance up to this point. But, every time he gets in the box, I feel good. So I expect him to really have a nice series, this next one.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll take one more. Go ahead, Nayuki.
Hi, Dave. Speaking of Shohei, will he start in Game 3 or Game 4? And is there a possibility he could pitch in relief later in the series?
We haven't decided on Game 3 or Game 4. And as far as the relief, we just got to see how the series plays out. So right now, we just haven't made that decision.
I have another question.
Yes.
He left in his NLCS MVP trophy in the clubhouse and put a card on it. That's a team effort. What did that mean to you?
Well, for me, it's not a surprise because Shohei is such a great teammate. And, that award was a team effort. Shohei had a huge game in game 4, but he realized that games 1, 2, and 3, you could have had Snell, Yamamoto, Edmund, any one of those guys, Teoscar, be a team MVP. So it was just good for him to recognize that. And that just shows, what a great teammate Shohei is.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.